My name is Michael, and I own a paper company. But you don't care. You care for who I've become.
It's been over a year since Michael the Stapler was introduced to people. What started as a simple school project turned into something that will, how do I say this? It'll stay infamous within the school it was produced. So after not even realizing that the film has been out for over a year, I wanted to take another look at it with the most critical eye that I could, with the most non-biased view on it that I could. And to be quite honest, and while my teacher's gonna be like, oh, you should be so proud on what you created, I hear that. I really do. But for this video, for the sake of this video, let's just look at it and let's just be honest with ourselves. Was it really that good? That's what we're gonna look at in this little video project of mine, so let's take a step back. Let's look at where it began.
I started it. I need quiet. I'm just gonna get like a good 10 seconds of this.
I want you to imagine yourself. Well, actually, I don't want you to imagine yourself. Imagine a 16-year-old Tyler sitting in class and he's just been told this project idea that he needs to accomplish. To create a non-ordinary character with a very strange superpower. Tyler's light bulb bloops into existence. He starts vigorously typing onto his laptop as he thinks to himself, ah yes, Michael the Stapler. And he creates a backstory for said character. When he thinks he is done, oh no. One idea sprouts into his mind that no one in his class ever thought of. Michael the Stapler, the film. Back to the vigorous typing and boom! Michael the Stapler, the official script, was created. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail on how and why Michael the Stapler was created like I did in episode 4 of In Perspective, but in this video we're going to kind of look at the film, re-experience it together, and I'm just going to share some of my personal opinions on the film. So, without further ado, let's look at this film for the first time in over a year. Here's a fun fact, and I have no idea why, but getting that rain to go from loud and in your face to quiet and making it sound like it was actually hitting the ceiling, not gonna lie, that was a proud editing moment.
My name is Michael, and I own a paper company.
Okay, do I have to continue? That by far is the most iconic and was the most iconic line, along with maybe one other line in this whole film. My name is Michael and I own a paper company. So many people were mocking that line whenever we showed some of our peers that film. That's how much of an impact that line had. Alright, so this is one thing I should have and could have fixed had I knew Premiere Pro a tad bit better. Keep in mind, when filming this back in January of 2020, I just got my new Fuji X-T3 and barely used Premiere Pro, so I was really new to all this. But if you watch throughout the film, we attempted to keep the stapler red and everything else monochrome. It worked. Except for the fact that there were spots that weren't the stapler that were still showing color. So unprofessional.
It's too quiet.
This scene, oh lord.
It was early morning yesterday. I was up before the dawn.
It's a clever shout out to the real Michael from The Office, which I completely didn't tell you about yet, but Michael the Stapler is based on Michael Scott from The Office, so anywho. Yeah, so this little song is a reference to The Office, and there's another reference to The Office later on, but with this shot, we were so happy with this goofy scene.
I was up before the dawn. So we must be moving.
Who the heck turns around like that? Also, Devin, the door is actually not in that direction. It was in front of you, not next to you. So that sound theoretically would have not come from that direction. Notice the weird coloring of stapler and hand. Also, Band-Aid. Okay, let's quickly break this down. Here's the sound. looks to his left, then proceeds to slowly grab the stapler and then walks straight towards the door, might I add, while walking extremely slowly, while scanning the room as if the noise could move. Slowly closes the door, but doesn't take a peek around to see who or what it was. Smart idea. Slowly turns around. What are you doing, playing hide and seek? And are you trying to stay as quiet and nimble as possible so the seeker doesn't hear you? Alright, so I get that we were trying to create tension and suspense, but who goes after slowly walking and then carefully places a stapler down? I get it, Past Tyler. You wanted to show off your camera skills with close-up shots, but even I find this funny. And I wrote and directed this thing. I saw that smile, Devin. I wonder what's on this dirty floor that I could be wanting to show the viewer. Wowzers, oh, dress shoes. This scene goes on a bit too long from this angle. Knees and... Okay, Tyler. Yes, a petrified Devin who goes in and out of focus. Okay, so nobody apparently liked this shot. Of the two side by side, I freaking loved it. I don't anymore, but gosh darn it, this was a creative shot, and to be quite honest, I don't really care what you think of this shot if you don't like it.
Sir, may I help you?
This scene, yes. We all hated how it turned out. That weird closer step Donovan takes, not organic at all.
Please leave.
Shout out to ystreet.org. Alright, please don't be a crappy shot. Please be a decent shot.
This was the moment in my life that changed everything.
It wasn't a good shot, but it was a good idea on portraying speed, I guess.
Really fast.
Fun fact, for the shot of Devin getting hit, we had him sitting for this scene. But we noticed something later on, so we had to redo a crap ton of scenes, and the one of him getting shoved was one of them. So we kept the scene of Devin getting abused by the stapler, mainly because Donovan couldn't hold a straight face for that scene again. But it worked out since Devin was much shorter than Donovan, so in the end it worked out anyway. So no one even noticed until I just brought up the fact that it's 2 completely different days that we shot that scene. Ow, man, that hurt. What do you want? I don't know what we were trying to accomplish at this point, but that reaction... Oh, man.
But now it's time to pass it on to you. You are the chosen stapler man. Now beg for mercy.
Okay, so this scene was a heap of pain. It took him forever to get this line down. Took half a day of shooting, but it's a memorable line.
Okay, Dwight, I know it's you. I thought you went home already, but hey, I really like the hat. It looks really nice on you. Do you get it at the Goodwill down the road?
Since this was a poorly directed shot, in case you were wondering what actually happens here, Devin, who plays Michael, gets shot by the stapler and turns into Michael the Stapler, which, you know, was the whole point of this film, but it took us over 3 minutes to get to this point.
I told him to beg for mercy.
And finally, we are done with this film. We are done. Michael the frickin' Stapler. Who would have thunk it? In my imagination, this had a cult following with kids dressing up as Michael the Stapler for Halloween and dads on a Saturday night bringing their bros over to his man cave to watch this film every Saturday. In my imagination, this was our big break. Devin became an actor for some Office spinoff, and Donovan would go off to play Slender Man in some horror movie. And me, well, I'm here, aren't I? Talking about our breakthrough film. The film that built our names in the film industry, and yes, we were the creators of this. Yeah, our name is on this. Devin's, Donovan's, mine, our names are on this. Conclusion. We had a great time filming this, along with the movie poster and the DVDs. But COVID got in the way, so, it kind of, mainstream success fell short. That's okay. We all still talk about this film to this day, over a year later. And if anything, this film brings a nostalgic sort of vibe to it. It brings back so many memories, and it just really does. Back when times were simple, you didn't have to wear a mask, and us as friends in school, we could go to school, create something, and have something to look forward to each day that we would go to school for the good 3 weeks that it took us to make this. And maybe the film itself isn't great, it's the story behind it. We were 3 11th graders just trying to create something, and we wanted to create something to show off our creativity. And yes, I did say show off because, to be quite frank, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to create something that stood out, that teachers haven't really seen before, at least to an extent. But in the end, we are very happy with the process and experience. Nothing will ever beat the film in the way it feels nostalgic and almost timeless in a way. And I think I can speak for Devin and Donovan when I say this for like the 3rd time. This film was nostalgic. Looking back on it, it's nostalgic. Thinking about it, how we created it was nostalgic. It was one big blur of a memory that just happened because we put our minds to something that no one else wanted to do, and we took that challenge. We went with it. In a way, this film is also timeless. It can be played every year, like a Christmas story can be played every year around Christmas. That's the beauty of this film. That's the beauty of Michael the Stapler. So to wrap this up, the film sucked. But we tried. And no matter what my teachers tell me, the film itself isn't something to be proud of. What I'm proud of, and I think Devin and Donovan are also proud of, was the experience and the work we put into it. While the film isn't great, what we experienced and what we created is something that we're proud of. And I think that's really what matters when you're creating something as a project is, well, yes, a film should be good because that's what you're creating. It's also the experience. You learn and you lose, and we learned a lot, and we also lost probably a lot of our ego to this film, but it was something that we can look back on and kind of laugh at, but also experience all over again, if that makes sense. Well, that kind of leaves me with this thought. Maybe Michael the Stapler isn't a film, but more of an experience. One that some may like, and for others, it creates an emotion and a feeling. And at the end of the day, I think that's what makes Michael the Stapler a nostalgic film.